Hello friends, and welcome back to another video, and my last video of 2022. Feels insane to say, but in this video I'm going to be answering some questions, and we're also going to be baking some cookies for the holiday season because I've been tasked with bringing my famous chocolate chip cookies up to our Christmas celebrations this year. So I'll show you how to make them, and I'll also answer some of the questions that were asked over on my YouTube community page as well as on my Instagram. Anywho, without further ado, let's get started. For today's video, I'm actually just going to be making the cookie dough. So maybe I'll make like a sample cookie to show you what it looks like, but I think that freshly baked cookies are the best. So I'm gonna be bringing the dough up to our Christmas celebrations and baking them there. So I'm gonna be making a double batch of cookies today, but the standard recipe for my chocolate chip cookies is going to be linked down below. So many people on TikTok made them and they loved them so much, so I hope that you love them just as much. But let's get started with a question. Somebody asked how to trust your body in eating disorder recovery. This is kind of a trick question, or like a trickier question to answer, because when we're talking about trust with the body, there's not a lot there. Your body doesn't trust you and you don't trust your body. And so part of recovery is getting that trust back, especially when we're talking about restrictive eating. I'm gonna add my butter to my bowl. Oh, there's nothing I love more than like melted butter. It smells so freaking good. And I think that this whole conversation around trust is really important when we're talking about eating disorders and intuitive eating as well, because you cannot intuitively eat if you are recovering from an eating disorder. I've said this so many times, but how can you listen to a body that you've neglected for so long? And so the first thing that I would do is get rid of any kind of controlling device that you have when it comes to your food intake. So if you have a food scale, get rid of it. If you measure food, get rid of those measuring spoons. If you have an app that you use to track your food, get rid of it. And understand that intuitive eating has to come after you repair your relationship with yourself, and also after you view food as completely neutral. Because as long as you have food rules and fear foods, you're not going to be able to eat intuitively, because chances are you're following those rules and those fears. And so in order to gain complete autonomy again, you kind of have to force yourself to get there. It doesn't come naturally, it's not easy. By eliminating your rules and your fears, what you eliminate are the obstacles between you and your body's communication. So if you want to communicate more with yourself throughout eating disorder recovery, what you've got to be working on, or what you've got to be doing, is what challenges you the most. So anyway, the short answer is that you can't intuitively eat right now. And the main focuses that you have to have are the things that scare you. And they're only going to get easier with time. Somebody asked how/when did I get the dogs? So if you're new here, hi, I have 2 dogs. They're my pride and joy. I love them so much. Harley turned 7 this year. And Harley was actually originally a foster dog. So I was on a foster list and they gave me a little bit of a call to see if I wanted to foster a puppy for a little while. And I knew that I wanted to adopt him even though he was on like a foster list, but it was this whole seizure case with the animal shelter and Harley's previous owner, who was abusive and also tested drugs on our poor little baby. So Harley was rescued and I was able to adopt him when he was 2 years old. So I fostered him for 2 years, and then I was finally able to like legally adopt him when he was 2. And now he is 7. Because of his history and his past, he's a little bit more of like a skittish dog, and he gets afraid of things very easily, but he's come like such a long way since I've been with Andrew, which in March it's gonna be 5 years, which is insane to think about. But yeah, Harley I got in 2015 and we ended up adopting him. And then for Tabasco, basically a family friend had a litter of puppies and we were in the market for one, and we made this decision in one day, and we got him in 2019. And I feel like we should have taken more time. God, I love Tabasco so much, but I wish I'd done like more research on the breed and things like that, because he's a very energetic dog. There's a lot that he needs, but he is going to be starting like a training program soon, which should be fun and stimulating for him. So we do what we can, but love them both. Got one in 2015 and the other one in 2019. I also got a lot of questions that I have like dedicated videos for. So if you asked any questions, you know, about food guilt, about binge eating, I have videos on these topics already, but my #1 tip for binge eating is to eat what you crave. As somebody who suffered from binge eating for 5 years of my life, along period of time, when I stopped restricting myself and truly restricting myself, being super honest with myself, the binges stopped. And I know that that's not the case for every single person, but like 95 to 99% of the cases when we're talking about binging, the reason that we do that is because I just got egg everywhere. It's because we restrict in some way. And food guilt is another one of those things that like there's only so many things that you can do. And one of the things that you can do that is the most helpful is exposure therapy. And what exposure therapy is, it's like very much in the name, is exposing yourself to situations repeatedly to gain more exposure and therefore gain more confidence, and also prove to yourself that like nothing bad happens. Because listen to me, your eating disorder can't hurt you. I tell this to my clients all the time, but it cannot manifest and be in this room with us and harm you in any way. It can only hurt you if you listen, and you have that power. It doesn't have that power. It doesn't have to have that power. Nobody should have that power except for you. Any goal, no matter how small, is going to be one step closer to you and a recovered life. Take those leaps, take those steps, wherever they may lead. Somebody asked, how do you not care what other people think? Listen, to a certain extent, I think all of us are going to care a little bit. Once we acknowledge that, we can start caring about what we actually care about. If somebody, for example, thinks I'm ugly, I know I'm not. I don't feel ugly. I don't think I am. Therefore, I am not. And so it's not something that I think on or believe for a long period of time. The fact of the matter is that not everybody is going to like you. Why do we need everybody to like us? I mean, I don't see a reason, because there are definitely people that I don't like. And I also think that that's okay. To care less about what other people think about you, you have to just start caring less about other people. You have to start prioritizing yourself and caring more about who you are and what you do and who you love. The more our focus is outward, the more unhappy we're going to be. So look inward, do the things that make you happy. Remind yourself that we are what we believe. There's this great example that somebody used on TikTok, and I use this all the time in client sessions as well. But if somebody were to come up to me and they were to say like, oh my God, you have like the most ugly pink hair that I've ever seen in my entire life, and then they were to walk away, I would leave that interaction very much like, what the fuck was that? Like, that was so fucking weird. And I might even call somebody and be like, what the heck? Like, somebody just came up to me and said these things, and it would be laughable because I know it's not true. Love yourself so deeply, admire yourself so much that whatever other people think or say, we will know it's not true. This might be morbid and maybe not for everybody, but something else that I do is I just remind myself that like I could literally die today. I could die tomorrow. And do I want my last thought on this earth to be like, I wonder what she thinks of me? I wonder if that boy thinks I'm attractive or not? Fuck no. Some salt? I thought I missed the bowl for a second. Whew. Cornstarch makes the cookies so damn chewy and glorious. Anyway, I forgot what the original question was, but be you, do you, and I promise you, you're going to be happier. Just anytime your mind goes astray and you start thinking about somebody else, bring it back to you. Do something that's kind just for you. Remind yourself why the opinions of other people, it doesn't matter. Somebody can come up to me and they can say that they hate dogs, that dogs are like the worst creatures to ever roam this earth. And I would look at them and be like, okay, because I know that they're wrong. So get that proof, get that evidence for yourself. I always make my cookies in like one bowl, and they always turn out well. So if you're using 2 bowls and you want to try one, I mean, it works for me. Is recovery worth it? Wow, is it ever? I've never met one person who has recovered in my entire life, in my career, in my online presence, who has ever regretted it. I've never ever heard about somebody regretting recovery. My biggest regret is not starting sooner. And I don't even know if I could have started sooner than I did, but recovery has brought me so many opportunities, memories, possibilities than I ever could have thought possible. I've created a career and a platform to be able to spread awareness. But outside of what I do in the eating disorder field, I'm just so happy. I was so miserable every single day. I cried, I hated myself. I was so fucking mean. I was the meanest bitch that I had ever met to myself. And now I cannot even fathom thinking about myself or speaking to myself that way because I respect myself. Think of what restriction has ever brought you. A false sense of security, false sense of safety and comfort. It doesn't last, does it? It's never forever. And that's because it's not real. Anytime you feel safe when you're suffering from an eating disorder means that you're doing something that appeases it, that makes the eating disorder happy. Make it fucking mad. Make your eating disorder's world crumble and burn. It doesn't deserve to feel comfortable. And yeah, it sucks that you have to be the host for it. But if you're not, and if you don't go through that discomfort, then what is life all about then? You're never going to be happy. It's never going to be enough. And so I promise you with all of my heart that it's worth it. We're almost done these cookies. Like, these are some fast bad boys. And now we're going to add our flour. Another trick for my oatmeal cookies is to add some oats in there. Oats make everything better, and it gives it like a nice subtle like oaty nutty flavor while still like being an awesome texture. So fun fact. I also got asked what my siblings' names are. I, as you know, tend to keep it very private online when it comes to family, friends. Andrew's never been in a video, nothing like that. Older sister, her name is Tamara, and I have a younger brother and his name is Mason. But yeah, and every single time I do one of these Q&As, and I'm sure it's because there's new people every time, but they always ask why I don't show Andrew, why like we don't do couple videos together. This channel's about me. It's about my life, it's about recovery. And I definitely do not want to be one of those people that shares everything about themselves online. I always talk so much in these Q&As, and like I only end up doing like 6 questions. I've got to be better at this. How old am I? I'm 26. I'm a Sagittarius. My birthday was December 8th. A lot of questions about the dogs today, like what kind of dogs they are. Tabasco is half Great Pyrenees, half Australian Shepherd, and Harley is a pit mix. Somebody asked if I was ever hospitalized, and the answer to this question is like yes and no. Yes, for really short periods of time, but never for an inpatient program or anything like that. Somebody asked, do you have any long-term side effects of disordered eating? And I do. I don't talk about this that often on my channel. And before I do talk about the long-term effects that I personally suffer with, I just want this to serve as a reminder that like, you don't have to have been hospitalized, and you don't have to have been like underweight or anything at all for your eating disorder to be valid for you to be sick. An eating disorder is a mental illness that has some physical consequences and ramifications depending on the person, etc. So the main 2 issues that I suffer with, the first one are my teeth. And this is for so many different reasons, but I'm still paying for dental work that needs to be done because of whether it's deficiencies, depression, enamel wear, whatever it might be. There's a lot of stress in my mouth, so there's that. And then there's my hair. I had very thick hair before I developed an eating disorder, and even though I do love my hair now, it is like maybe half the thickness that it was before. Yes, I've been recovered for a while now, so this is probably what my hair is going to be like, and I'm just going to accept it and love it. And I think it's beautiful and I think it's cute. But yeah, there's definitely long-term side effects. And you know what? I'm gonna take those side effects over living every single day with an eating disorder though. It's a million times better. Somebody asked if I have any goals for the new year. And I'm somebody who likes goals for the new year. I know it's not for everybody, but I think that it could be fun as long as you're setting goals that are healthy for you. Okay? But one of my goals this year is more financial stability. So basically to track my expenses, my income, just be more financially responsible. I'm 26, I've got to get some shit together. And yeah, that's my main goal. This was my goal last year, but I don't care. I'm getting my license in the first 3 months of 2023. There, I said it, I'm committing myself, and come March, people have to message me and harass me and ask me if I got my license or not, okay? Okay. But yeah, if you have any fun resolutions or plans for the new year, let me know. But the cookie dough is basically finished. All that I have to add right now is the chocolate chips. So we'll do that and we'll answer a couple more questions. Okay, so I divided the dough into 2 bowls because I want to make 2 different types of like chocolate chip cookies. So the first one is going to be just classic chocolate, but to the second batch over here, I'm going to add these mini Reese's Pieces candy so that it's like a peanut butter chocolate vibe, because I think that that would be fun. I feel like this is also very Halloween-y now that I'm looking at it, but whatever. I'm gonna add the whole bag just for fun, you know, funsies. Oh shit. Okay, yum, that's the first batch. And for this guy over here, I've never done this before, but today I'm feeling a little spicy. I'm gonna add mini chocolate chips. This is how we spice things up in our 20s. And just to have fun with textures, I'm going to add a handful of like normal sized chocolate chips. And I mean, oh my God. As I mentioned, I wasn't going to bake these cookies because I'm going to bring the dough up there, but I figured we might as well bake one so I can like show you what they look like, you know? Today we're gonna make a chocolate chip cookie, but make sure that you refrigerate before cooking at 350 for 12 minutes. So I just put the cookie in and I tidied up the kitchen. So we'll answer maybe one, two, I don't know, a couple more questions, and then we will do a taste test to finish this video out. Finish this video out, finish this video off. There we go. Somebody asked me if I've ever been in a relationship before Andrew because they're currently going through a breakup and could use some advice. Yes, so in total, counting Andrew, I've been in like 3 serious relationships. And heartbreak is one of those things that like, I know it's so cheesy, but like things just get better with time. But I also, when I'm going through the process of grief, I remind myself of what I got from that relationship, what I learned from that relationship, and also something that I don't want to carry on to my next relationship. But before you even ask yourself any of those questions or go through this like thinking process about the relationship that just ended, you gotta focus on healing. And everybody heals in their own ways. Try to make sure the way that you're healing doesn't hurt you and doesn't hurt other people, but surround yourself with friends. And I know a lot of this information is cheesy, but it's true. Surround yourself with people that make you happy. Watch comfort TV shows, let yourself cry, and remind yourself that it's temporary. At some point in your life, you were totally fine without this person, just like you are going to be totally fine without them again. Breakups suck. They always suck. Just allow yourself to feel shitty, but also say yes. Say yes to going out with your friends. Say yes to going out to the movies, whatever it might be. Just try to grab onto the opportunities that come your way. There's a lot of life that's out there to be lived, and a lot of that does not have to be done with anybody else but you. And the last question that I'm going to answer today is about which mantra helped me the most in my own recovery journey. And one of the sentences and affirmations that helped me most was the saying, do things scared. Because when I was recovering, I was always waiting for myself like to not be scared, like waiting for the perfect time to tackle a fear food when like I wasn't scared. Like I kept waiting to be okay with it instead of forcing myself to do something and being okay with it coming as an aftermath of that forceful action. And so that is what helped me the most, is that if you're scared, do it anyway. Do it scared, do it scared, do it scared. My sink is making really weird noises, but I also think that that saying, do things scared, can be applied to like a lot of different things. If you're traveling for a new job, you're going to be scared. You're leaving your comfort zone, you're leaving your friends and family, but do things scared, because who knows what that opportunity has entail for you. And like, home is not going anywhere. Or what feels like home, that is a feeling and it's not going anywhere. If you want to quit your job and get another degree, it will be scary, but do things scared. You never know what the outcome could be. For me, for example, for YouTube, I was so scared to start my channel. And again, my only regret is that I didn't start sooner. We're not a big channel. We're very, very small. And I also really, really love it. And I know that this small channel has impacted other people's lives. And I don't even have words to describe how good that feels. So anyway, I'm smelling the cookie. It smells delicious and wonderful. Let's go taste it to end off this video. All right, friends, it is the moment of truth. The cookie came out of the oven, I don't know, like 5-ish minutes ago, so it's gonna be really gooey, but look at her. Oh my God. I hope that at least one person makes these cookies because they're so good. But let's break this open for you guys. Oh my God. Jesus. They are so freaking gooey, but let's try it. I've made a lot of cookies in my lifetime. Nothing tops these. They're so good. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little Bake With Me Q&A video. I know that I did not answer all the questions. It would be impossible for me to do it. But I do hope that this video gives you a little bit of encouragement going into the holidays, a little bit of motivation and inspiration. And I also hope that my channel just provides you safety as well. So thank you so much for watching, for making this a safe place for me. And I hope everybody has a wonderful, safe, and happy holiday season. I will see you in the new year, and make sure to do something kind for yourself today, okay? Okay. Bye, friends.